Hi guys, I'm just setting up everything here. As you can see, I have my little green screen, which is kind of fun. I'm just making sure that it is live on our group page, which it is. There I am. All right, so today is Monday the 6th. So most of you guys have kiddos that technically just started spring break. So probably nothing's really changed because we've all been home and kids have been out of school. I wanted to take this time to talk about the importance of utilizing this awesome, hey everybody, it's online on Facebook. I can't really see you right now, but if you comment or anything, I might be able to see in a little bit. So let me just give this link to you guys if you want to join on Zoom with me, and then you can actually chat with me. I would love that. So I'm not talking to myself. And there we go. All right. So I put the in the link, I mean in the comments below, the link that you can join me on live. So if you want to chat and, you know, bounce some ideas and stuff. So how do we book online parties? Meaning Facebook, Zoom, just getting people to your website, things like that. So I want you to first think about people that have already hosted with you. You might be brand new and you're like, never hosted a party before, so I don't have any hostesses. So it's the same thing. You always start with the people that you know, your friends, your family, your coworkers, just your acquaintances, and letting them know that you're a Scentsy consultant, okay? And that you are starting your business during this craziness, and you have to show confidence. Thank goodness I can run my business online. Here's the thing. Let me turn off my ringer here. People are shopping whether you think they're not or not, think they are or they're not. Statistics actually are showing that people are buying more right now online. The reason behind that is because they're bored, guys. Not everybody is broke as a joke, like, you know, and not everybody's lost their parties, you know, I mean their jobs, excuse me. Not everybody is like broke and they just can't spend a dollar or a dime. And if they are, that's why we want those people to be hosting, right? So, or possibly joining your team because they have an avenue to make some money as well. So let's talk about hosting. The people that have been around for a while, you want to be looking at all the people that have hosted for you in the past. And so I wanted to just kind of share some verbiage of how you can invite people to do an online party or texting party. That's been actually very popular lately. And in the waiting room, I don't know what is going on, why everything is so different on my Zoom program right now. I'm going to have to contact my administrator or whatever. Anyways, so I'm hoping that, because it just told me that Melissa is on, but in a waiting room. And I hope that anyways, I don't know. I hope she's on. Okay. Texting has been very popular as far as, you know, just I've done one. I'm not going to I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I always am. When I built my business, my skill level, my jam, you know, where my expertise is one-on-one or in a home party in front of people. That is where my jam is. That's where it's like riding a bike. If you get me in a room in front of a bunch of people, I'm going to have parties booked and I'm going to have a new team member. That's one thing I could stay confident with. This is new to me, guys. So I've tried the texting. And the thing is total transparency. I've only even attempted to ask somebody to do a texting party once, and I did it, and she had over a qualified party. And so people want simplicity right now, guys. They want it anyways, not even because of the virus, just today's society, everything is so simple. Click, 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 click. They don't have to do anything extra. You want to give them that direct access and that easy to shop. So again, people are bored. People don't have a lot of places to be able to shop online right now with, because a lot of like Amazon is only shipping like necessities right now, right? It may have changed, I don't know, but that's what I heard. So I get distracted easily, you guys know that. Anyways, so texting parties, let's start there because it's probably the most simple. You'll want to make sure you set up a party online, okay? Obviously, on your workstation, you'll want to make sure that you have a photo of your hostess. You want them to connect with the person that is hosting. People are very emotionally attached to their people. And so when they see your picture and that's it, or a bunch of, you know, Mother's Day products, it's not connecting with them. They may see their name, you know, Kara's party, but you want them to see their face. You want them to go, oh yes, I'm supporting this person's party. And it makes them want to shop because it makes them go, oh, well, this person likes the product enough that they're having a party that I want to shop from their party. Okay. And here's the thing, guys, even if they did lose their job and they don't have a lot of extra money to go on, people are in their house right now. They are cooped up. They're going insane. If they're not opening their windows every day to air out their house probably stinks. Let's get real. And, you know, that can create a real irritability, tension. As a consultant, educate your customers on how to help being at home be the most comfortable. So go on your VIP pages, text your clients, whatever, do a blast and email and give them some tips. Go on Google. I'm sure there's tons of, you know, tips on how to stay sane, you know, being in your house, or I'm sure people have made videos or whatever. And one of them is to air out your house, because energy becomes stagnant, and energy creates its own, like stagnant air and movement creates its own negative energy. And then it feeds off to the people that are living in their house. So you want to educate them. You want to add value to them. And then on top of it, you're able to give them amazing products. Okay. So they may not realize they're going crazy. They may not realize that their house smells and that their house is stale and they just need to move. So when you are letting them know that people are cooped up and they don't know why they're going crazy, you know, and the hostess is going to say, or future hostess that you're trying to talk to is going to say like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that. That's so true. I haven't opened my windows in a few days. That's, you know, that's a great idea. It's going to make them say, wow, she just added value to me. And so now, or he, excuse me, gentlemen. And then they're going to want to think about, oh, okay, so yeah, that's true. I ran out of my Scentsy bars a long time ago and I haven't even thought about it because of what's been going on. And so now that I think about it and you're bringing this to my attention, you know, sure, I'll do, you know, I mean, what do I have to do? They may be the kind of person that are like, I'm not really wanting to be online right now. I don't want to do Facebook, whatever. That is a great way to get them going. Just here's a link to your online party. Send it to them. Just send it to them. Any orders that are collected are going to go towards your rewards. And then they have this link that they can, you know, hey guys, look at this. This is so awesome. And you know, we're going to talk about hostess coaching in a second, but getting that online link in your hostess or customer's hand is going to, it's what Melissa Henning talks about. She always calls it her sneak attack. It's the same thing. It's like you're very smoothly getting that website into their hands and they don't know that they're becoming a host. But it's a way for them to realize that, oh, my mom probably will order, my sister probably will order. And, oh, there's Melissa. Hi, I don't know what was going on. So I'm sorry you've been trying to get on. Anyway, so it's just a very smooth, easy way to get people thinking about being a hostess. When they realize it's as as simple as just getting a link, they're going to go, okay, you know, all right, it's going to start them clicking. It's going to start them looking at the website and going, oh, I haven't seen that in a while, or, oh, that's interesting. And then once that website that is in their hands on their phone, then you're going to be able to start coaching them. Okay. And we will talk about the coaching part with online, the actual link, but then, well, let's actually move it all into one thing. So once they've had their link, you pretty much open the door to them having a party, okay? And then not even noticing it. Now, you can start posting some of these flyers that we've been posting on the page the last couple days for this Operation Active in April. You can send them that flyer and say, hey, text them this flyer with the link. And it's going to give them visuals immediately. And it's going to make them start thinking about, oh, what is this? I want to see more, and start clicking. Okay. So then if they've never hosted with you before, then you can start you could start coaching them with what is in it for them. Okay. If they've hosted with you before, it's going to be a lot more simple. You could say, you know what, you know the drill. We want to goal you to 500 because that's where you're going to get that 15% free credit. And we're going to get you as much products as possible on the free credit. And if you want to utilize your half off items as well, then you get extra 3 instead of just the 2. And here's the thing, guys, delivery is everything. Delivery is everything. If you're like, oh, well, you know, you can earn this. Let's talk with confidence, and we're going to get you 15% in free credit. That's why we're goaling the 500. That's what we're shooting for. And then there's always a purpose behind every strategy. Okay. So 500 is the magic goal for our clients that are hosting with us, because our hostesses are our future most best consultants. Okay. And so I want to make sure that I'm linking all of that, and you guys understanding that the reason why we are, I don't know what they changed the Zoom for. Everything's looking different for me. We always want to be thinking that a customer or a hostess is always our future consultant. Always, 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 always. I don't even care if you're brand new and you can't even process the thought of you becoming a sponsor right now. Every person that buys your product is a possible future consultant. It's just the way it is, whether they realize it or even want it or not. That's just the way it is, because once they start to buy, they're going to get you're going to start to see their trend, their buying trend, how often they purchase, when they purchase, how much they purchase. And those are all factors that you're going to be able to introduce to them of why they would benefit with becoming a smart shopper and joining the business. Okay. That's at minimum. But we start with that $500 goal because we want to show them that they've achieved a goal in the business before they've even tried. Okay. That is going to open up the door to making them realize they can do things that they didn't think they can, because every customer is always going to think they can't do what you do, whether you are a complete, full hands-on, full throttle Scentsy consultant, or a part-time hobbyist or part-time consultant. They're always going to think that they don't have the skill, the time, and the knowledge of the ability to do what you do. So when you are showing them specific things and hostess coaching them, you're going to be able to easily transition everything they've learned as a host into becoming a consultant. And they're going to realize they already know the first few steps of being a good, successful consultant, which is introducing the product to people and goaling themselves first, okay, at that 500. Now, 500 is the number that all consultants should be trying to hit, every single consultant. Why? Because once you do start to build a team, you never want to close a month less than 500, because then you are literally leaving money on the table. It's your sponsoring bonuses. It's money that you helped. It's time you put in with your team members, and you're not getting paid for because you're not putting in 500. So when we have hostesses, we can goal them at 500 and have one party in the month, which we of course want to do more, but worst case scenario, you do one party in that month, you know, you've had at least 500. If they close as a hostess, if they don't join and you don't flip the party, which is why we need to have more than one party, right? So that's where we're coaching them, that this is their benefit. Everybody wants to know what's in it for me, no matter whether they're a customer, their hostess, or a consultant. What's in it for me? What's in it for them, meaning, okay? So what is in it for them is that they are going to have the maximum free credit bumped up to 15%. What is that? People like me, if you were my consultant, if you didn't give me a number, it wouldn't make any sense to me. It would go one ear and out the other. So when you tell me I can get $75 in free credit, I can look at the catalog and see visually what $75 is going to be for me. So then I can start goaling myself. Then I'm going to, as a customer or hostess, I'm going to start saying, well, gosh, I have a lot more than that I want. And that's why it's so important for us to be asking them to look at the catalog and see what they absolutely want, what they would love to get if they can. And also, you know, tell them just to be like, think big. There's no cap. Just write down everything you want, and then we'll narrow it down later. But the reason why I want you to goal yourself at least $500 is because that's going to be the maximum percentage. So if it's $1,000, it's 15% off of 1,000 instead of 10% off of 1,000. Okay. People need specifics. People need to see it, and they need it broken down. If we're just like, oh, you can get some free Scentsy, you know, they don't, it's free Scentsy sounds great, but there's no emotional attachment there because they don't have it right now. So what they don't have, they're not going to miss. So what we have to do is create an emotional attachment to these products and to them hitting this goal. So that's where the visual comes in. Most people are visual to an extent. I'm like to the extreme, like my brain don't process unless I see it. But they're to a level, it's always going to help people see things a little bit better. So we want to make sure that they visually see how much they're going to get. Okay, so we've texted them the link. We've now we want to give them an idea of how much orders they have to get in order to achieve that. Now, statistically, right now, the average order is $65. Now, that's gone up a lot. It's gone up just during this virus because people are online shopping more and they are binge shopping. But it's gone up since I started. When I started 9 years ago, it was only $35. Now it's more in the $45, $50 range. But currently, right now, April 2020, it's $65. That's a lot, guys. So I had it worked out and I didn't write it down. So I'm a visual again. So $65, 500 divided by $65, you can say, okay, let's get 8 people to place an order. And now we have to break down what $65 looks like. Okay, how can we do that? We can, I'm going to share my screen. The cool thing, guys, is that I think you guys, let me get to. All right, the cool thing is that you could literally go straight to a party. And let me see. I hope you guys can still see my screen because I'm on a different computer today that I'm not used to working on.
No, it's just a sliver.
Oh, you don't see anything?
It's just like the very last sliver of the right-hand side of the screen. It's like a white line with a little speck of blue.
Oh, well, thank you for letting me know. That's okay. Let me stop it. And then I'm going to share again.
I understand that, Brad.
Okay, is that better? Can you see my website now?
Yes.
Okay,
That's better.
yes. Okay, so you could literally go straight. Oh, let me make sure everybody's muted here. Hi, Crystal. Okay, so you could go straight to your collections, excuse me, your specials and the bundle. And this is where I call it the best friend page. When I'm at a home party, I say flip to your best friend page, which is the combine and save. Okay, so you could do that while you're talking to your hostess, or you could be texting them this. You can go right to these combine and saves. Okay, so 65 is this bad boy right here. It's a good size warmer and 3 bars. Okay, then they're going to have a visual of where they need to start, of how they can sell these specific, this amount of money with 8 people per se. The more you coach, the more you direct, the more likely they're going to feel the confidence to be able to do it. Okay. So here's where you're going to be able to encourage them to focus on this area. It's because most people usually start with at least 1 full size warmer. Okay. Because it's going to start with like their main room in the house, which is like a living room. Okay. Because that's where people generally spend the most time in their houses. So now, obviously, if they know that their friends already have warmers, then, stocking up on a couple 6-packs is going to get them somewhere. Now we're going to get their 6-packs to break that down as well, but let's focus on this. So 1 warmer, with the 3 bars, and it's 65. So if they broke down to 8 people, called their family, their friends, and text their coworkers and all of that, that's how they're going to very simply get that goal. Now, the cool thing is we have so many different types of products. Let's face it, we're so blessed to have Disney. We have a Cinderella warmer coming out on Monday that is $85. Okay, I know. Woo woo! I can't wait. If anybody that loves Disney at all, Cinderella tends to be just kind of like that classic, feel good movie, fairy tale, from rags to riches. It's just that emotional movie that people just, whether they like the blonde, princess or not, and they don't look like it or not, they still tend to love Cinderella. It's just one of those characters that people love in Disney. So, and that carriage is just, honestly, you guys, the most beautiful warmer I think they've ever made. I mean, they've intertwined element with lights. How they did it, I don't know. So it's incredible. So you definitely want to be sending those photos. Now we have marketing right in our marketing tab that you could be posting. Now, since we're on live, I want to make sure you guys know you cannot edit those licensed flyers. I've done it by mistake without thinking. Actually, I think Melissa's one that actually caught it for me. And she's like, Jess, I don't think we could do this. And I'm like, do what? And I'm like, oh, thank goodness she caught that for me, because I could have been totally turned in, but it's an easy mistake. So I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware that the marketing that Scentsy gets approved through Disney has to stay as is. It's beautiful. It's done very tastefully. You don't need to do anything to it. Okay. So, okay. So that, and then, right now everybody's in their house. Their dogs are not getting washed at the groomers. So we could really, really, really market the pet products right now. Okay. I know my dogs smell. and so the fact that I have products to wash them. Here's the thing. People don't want to go out, and they shouldn't be shopping for unnecessary products. They're going for the things they can't live without, for food and stuff. They're not thinking, oh, I have to go buy shampoo to wash my dog. So while they're shopping, you could be showing them letting them know about the products. Now, this is all the coaching that you need to be talking to your hostess about, letting them know.
And they can save money with the Woof Box this month.
The
Woof Box is the Woof Box,
which is in the collection section, right? Or it was, yeah, the Woof Box. So that is something they can be sending to a friend to brighten their day that's maybe having a hard time with this shutdown. Friends that they know that have dogs. I mean, you could literally send this link right to your hostess and say, shoot this out to all your friends that have dogs. they're not going to the groomers right now. So there is no way their dogs are either stinking this really bad, or they are in dire need to wash their pups. So there's all these great tools that Scentsy's giving us. But one thing that's so important, if you don't know your business, you're not going to be able to market your business and know how to help your hostess market. Okay. So knowing that you have pet products is very important. And then like the whiff boxes, like Melissa said, that is the special whiff box that's very catered to dogs right now, which I think is brilliant for Scentsy to do, because people aren't going to the groomers right now. So it's very catered. Okay. Now, other things is, like diffusers and the fans. Here's the thing. There's people that are working from home right now. I mean, that's what I do all the time. But like Cindy, she works from home now that this shutdown, but she's running a full-time. She's a supervisor, big shot at her job. And so she has to stay, she has to be in her office all the time. So if she was a hostess, I would be saying, hey girl, let me show you this awesome mini fan diffuser that just came out. I would be shooting her this directly. So when she clicks, she sees it. And I'd probably even go into it so she can look at the pictures. So do one step further, and then you would click your link, share, and share this page. So she would see this. Well, I probably wouldn't send her the gray one, but maybe the guy, like a guy or something, I would send. But she may not like pink or teal. So whatever. Hopefully you know your clients enough that you know what would be appealing to them as far as color, but let them know. Comes in 3 colors. But then they can, and you could tell them, click on the pictures, because you can see, I know you're working from home. This would be awesome to keep your area smelling nice since you're sitting around in your house working from home right now. But again, this goes to marketing, knowing your hostess, knowing what they do, what's going on in their life right now, and what specific things you can cater to them. What is that going to do? It's going to spark thoughts about, oh my gosh, my mom would love this. Oh, my coworkers, we're all working from home right now. They need to know about this. This is really helping me. Now, we've broken down the amount. They know their goal's 500. We've browsed, different items, and we've sent them direct links to them personally, and even maybe some flyers, because the main thing is we want them to know what's available, because then they're going to be like, oh, I really want that with my rewards, and oh, I want that too, which is going to inspire them to actually share the link, guys. If they don't see anything that's sparking their interest that they have to have, it's going to be more likely that they're not sharing the link. We want them to go, I want that diffuser, that mini diffuser. I want that box, that whiff box, whatever. Okay. Now, what I just did is now we're going to move on to one thing before I say this can apply to any party. When somebody actually orders, make sure you're telling your hostess somebody ordered for a couple reasons. One, because you want to show that you're honest. Okay. You want them to get excited that people are actually ordering. Okay. So my hostess just got her first order today. We just set up her party this morning, and she's doing a Facebook party, kind of. It's an event, but she didn't want to go on live this time. She normally goes on live with me, but she's just been on. She's a teacher, and she's been on Zooms and Google Hangouts, and she's just like, I don't want anything to do with that right now. So of course, I have to accommodate. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I did. And the cool thing is that if you have an account with Zoom, you can do a 45-minute whatever for free. Okay. So what I did today is I went on to her party, and I just did a quick Zoom on how to get around the website. Because here's the thing, guys, we lose a lot of a lot of orders, because people don't know how to utilize the website, and they don't know what's there. Okay. So here's her party. Remember, it's very important for them to see their pretty face, you know, so they can connect. But then I went on live and I gave them a walkthrough of the website. Okay. I showed them the pictures so they can see, you know, what things are and how they work. I showed them where to go, and I showed them the collections and the combine and save first, so they can really see what things, you know, how to get their best bang for their buck. But why you see this now is because where I started, let me just open this up for a second. So you guys
I decided to take a trip to the beach. Just kidding.
Okay.
Hold on. Lots of you have our
these are
that loves her Scentsy product knows there's.
I'm just gonna let you watch it for a second.
In the past, sure.
Okay. I was just getting it connected, but I want you to see that I start off with showing them the party page so they know what they're going to see.
I am live. Okay. Hi, everyone. I decided to take a trip to the beach. Just kidding. I just wanted to try this new feature. I'm on a Zoom app, and I have like a little green screen back here. It's a little sheet.
So I'm chit-chatting. I'm making them
know I'm a fun way to chat with you guys today. So welcome to.
Here's the thing. When you talk to them like they're your friend, like, you know, you're having normal conversation, it's breaking ice, guys. It's making them feel like, oh, this is a person. She's like a real person. You know, she's not just like, oh, I'm a Scentsy consultant, I'm here to place your order. It's I'm just a person trying to do what I'm trying to do. And it creates, like, again, it breaks the ice for you. So you can do your thing. So that's
Kara's
what I did.
Party. Lots of you have already bought from me from Kara's parties in the past. She's been hosting with me for literally, I think, 8 years now. She is my most favorite host because she's my dear friend, but she's also an amazing hostess that loves her Scentsy products, knows her Scentsy products, and it's just so much fun to have a party with her. So what I'm going to do is actually share my screen so you guys can see how to shop online and not miss any cool options. So I'm going to try to keep it nice and short so you guys aren't on here too long, but I do want you to be able to. Okay, so I hope that you can see my screen right now. And let's see, exit full.
So as you guys can see, I'm no professional. I'm just doing what I'm doing.
All right. You know what? I'm going to exit really fast because I'm worried that, oh no, you guys can't see it. Okay. It's just because I need to see on my other screen what you're looking at. All right. So this is the website, which you're going to see. Actually, when you first join, you will see the party. So let me copy the party, and I'm going to do this so you can see exactly what you're going to see when you log on, unless you go through a link. Okay, so here's the party.
So since then, for some reason, I've uploaded her photo like 5 times, but it's now there. It's not there here, but it is very important for them to see that.
I have a really cute picture of Kara. I'm going to upload that later. I'm sorry it didn't upload for some reason, so that's good for me to know. But this is where you'll start. I put a couple of Kara's favorites on here. She loves her Scentsy bars. That has always been, no matter how many products we come out with, that is something she stocks up on, is because she just loves her bars, which is awesome. That's one of our #1 sellers. Her wall diffuser, she's definitely a fan of, so is Jamie. And it's just,
okay, so as you can see, I know my hostess very well. Jamie's her husband. The people that are going to be shopping are, you know, they're going to know Jamie most likely. So I'm connecting them with the host and the husband. And so again, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create relationships and emotion. Okay. Because the more they feel like they're supporting Kara, the more likely they're going to actually shop. If it's just me, they may not be as inclined to worry about making the purchase. Okay. So we're not going to watch this whole thing. I'm going to get off that right now. But basically I went through a a walkthrough, okay? Just so they know about all of these things, like where the specials are. I walk through the clearance section, what the warm of the month is, and then just let them know that these are all broken down in different ways. And what's basically, what I did show them is what's trending right now, because I want them to know what top sellers are, because they may be like, I don't really buy Scentsy, I don't know what this stuff is, but this shows them what things are popular. They may have gone into the Mother's Day section because I showed them that, because it's Mother's Day coming up, and they see that it's trending. So that means, oh, they must be good Scentsy soak. So it gives them a little bit more confidence to buy something they haven't smelled and they haven't tried. Okay. This is something with technology now, which is so awesome. This is something we could totally do through texting. You could do this and upload this Zoom video to your YouTube channel and send them the link. Okay. Even if you don't do on Facebook. Okay. But on her party, I put it there. Okay. I'm also going to send her the link to that walkthrough. So the people that aren't on Facebook, they can take that link and she could text it to them so they can be walked through if they don't feel comfortable calling me. Now, another thing I did is I did a little welcome to, the face, I did, well, let me share my screen again, because, if you guys are anything like me, you're visual, maybe you want to see what the heck I'm talking about. Okay, let me get out of this. All right. So earlier this morning, I went on, I did a video on Snapchat, and this is basically what I said, just something to kind of introduce myself.
It's Jess Markowitz, your independent Scentsy consultant. I hope you're all healthy and safe at home with your families, sending big hugs your way. I just wanted to let you know that I am here for any questions you may have. Please shop our specials and collections. Those are our best way to get the best bang for your buck, as well as you could see all of our amazing licensed product with Disney and fun stuff like that. And we have a fun Disney product coming your way next Monday, so stay tuned. Bye.
Okay, so that was just the people that don't know me. It's an introduction, something fun. Made me look a lot prettier than I do in real with the Snapchat. So I posted that. But what I did is I went to if you don't have a YouTube channel yet and you're trying to grow your business, you really need to get one. It's free to sign up. So you can make little videos on everything. And then you could just add them to your Facebook events when you are doing an online party, because then it's teaching them. Like I just walk them through washing my bathroom sink with the bathroom cleaner. This is something I did like a week ago, but I added it to this page because that is like trending right now. Our products, because we're home, we're probably cleaning our house even more than we normally do, because we're using our house more than we normally do. Most people are gone for like 9 hours a day. And so they are using their homes far more than, and going through their products. Like even my hostess, who only hosts twice just a year, she just hosts in her seasons. She stocks up really good because she always has like an $800 to $1,000 party. And she stocks up on tons of bars and oils for her diffuser, and she doesn't need anything, but she forgets about the people that bought from her. And here's the thing about Kara, guys, and you guys might get a hostess like this. You're probably wondering why she's not a consultant, because she is the one person that I can't get to join. And it drives me nuts. And it's a running joke now. Every time she hosts her party, I go, now it's the time that I'm going to talk to you about joining. And she laughs and laughs. And she's considered it like twice in the 8 years, like, well, maybe. And she's told me her concerns. Long story short is that she hasn't joined yet. So she has literally a clientele, you guys. She has like 30 people on her list. So I sent her a list. So if you have a hostess that's already bought from you, take the time to go through all the online parties, people that have bought from you online on their party, all the regular order forms, because I will tell you, it is very likely that your hostess forgot that Jack from, shipping and at the place where she lives, that she works, bought from her last party, because Jack, she doesn't really see on a regular basis. But now you can say, he's your customer. He's your party customer. So when I sent her a list of 30 people that buy regularly, she was like, oh my gosh. So that was another visual that I've never done before, guys. I hate to say it. It's been 8 years. I've never sent her I did a Google spreadsheet and sent her the link on Facebook and said, here's the people. I gave them the phone numbers and the emails. And what I did is I said, do you want me to email everybody as well and let them know you're having a party? She's like, oh, would you do that? I said, yes. So I sent the link to the Facebook page and then obviously the link to her online party. So people that are email people, which are more likely the website people, people that shop online already anyways, because they'll get the email, because most people, you know, that are online people, they tend to check emails more likely. Anyways, the more we can educate and show specific facts, you don't know what's going to spark. Believe me, she's going to be endlessly on my list of people. She would be an amazing consultant. She knows more Scentsy tips and tricks than I do half the time. But for some reason, she just hasn't, made the plunge. Here's the thing, though. Her husband lost his job. So when I talk to her, which she knows it's coming, it may just be the one reason why she may try it for now. And that will be probably the spiel I say with her is, hey, look, Kara, whether you continue or not in the future, this is how much you'll make on this party. Can you use that money right now while Jamie's not at work? It's going to be very hard for her probably to say, yeah, no, I don't need it. But I will tell you, there's been several times over the years that something has happened that I've used that and she still won't. So something is holding her back that I haven't got to yet. Okay. She's told me she doesn't want to disappoint me because we're good friends. I'm like, are you serious? Here's all the things that people are going through, what's going through their minds, just so you know, in case you have somebody that just won't join, that we may never think about. They don't want to disappoint you. They don't think they have the skills that you do. So you have to make sure that you are letting them know how you're learning those skills. They don't think they have the time. So one of the questions you can say is, well, how much time do you think I spend on my business? And it's very likely it's going to be a lot more than what you actually do. And the beauty is because you have the resources like you do today, which is text messaging, orders, parties, online parties, direct ship, Photo-fi, making your own photos. Like they might look at your marketing things and go, man, she must take forever to make that. You get to say, oh, you think I sit around making all that? Well, first of all, Scentsy makes it all for me. And I have this cool little app that it's all in there and all I have to do is put my name on it. They're like, really? So it's all about lack of education. They just don't know enough. That's all. Their fears are created from information they don't know. Okay. One thing that is so important about online Facebook parties is you need to tell your hostess that statistically, people don't check their invites. So you have to tell them it's so important to text message or call or however you normally communicate with this person, letting them know that they sent a Facebook invite, because otherwise they may not even know it's there. And they miss out on shopping your party, which they would have very well wanted to, but didn't because they had no idea it was there. Another thing that I would suggest, if your hostess is okay with it, not every host will be, is to put it to a public online party. So then anybody that puts in Scentsy, they'll go on that party and be able to shop on that party. Okay. All of her friends will be able to see it. I can share it. I shared it to my business page. So people that want to shop, they can shop on her party, which is going to help my hostess. Any way that you can help your hostess, if you get a random order, throw it on the party. Don't be selfish and say, oh, I'm going to save these orders so I can get my own stuff, because here's the thing. Your hostesses are your bloodline to your business. If you don't have a party booked, you don't have a business, okay? They're the ones that are going to introduce you to people you never would have met. So to help them build that party a little bit from random orders, it's also going to give them the confidence to actually do the party another time. Because if they happen to get a party that doesn't do very well, you're like, oh, that's okay. I've got a couple orders to add on it. One, they're not going to feel bad for not having a very good party, but they're going to want to do it again. because they know you're there to support them and that you're going to help them and that you want them to get free stuff. So that is literally how Kara has built to do parties for me. And she knows no matter what, I'm going to support her, and any orders that come in that aren't on somebody else's party are going to go on hers, because one, she's my friend, and two, I want her to have a successful party. But she's been doing this so long, as you can see, 30 customers that are like consistent, that always buy. She's going to have well over a $500 party. It's just, hands down. I know that. But those are things you have to think about. Now, here is something that when I was doing this last night, I want to talk about. Oh, yes, go ahead.
I had a question. You said that you make it a public party. So are you making it like a group party, or are you making it an event? So
I do events. You'll find other consultants kind of go back and forth. Some people do group. A lot of people that do the group, their intentions are to give the group to the hostess that becomes a consultant. That's great. I just like the fact that it's public and it's an event that I can actually like. So like this with Zoom, I can, well, you could do that to a group page too. I don't know. To be honest with you, that's just what I've always done. Group pages, you might want to, and I know you do a lot of training. Maybe if you have some ideas of why other people do group pages, you could share that, because, okay. But I do know the one thing I think that people do group pages is because they want the ideas to try to flip the hostess, and then they already have all their friends in that group page, which is brilliant. I really do like that. But I just feel like another group page, people automatically feel like it's a commitment, and, oh, I'm going to be a part of this group now. There's just a lot of negativity that goes with group pages, because people tend to like just add people. In the past, we can't do that anymore. But I think just like people still have like a stigma about direct sales, it's because of all the bitter, nasty things that they have, bad taste they have in their mouth from 50 years ago, they still carry today. Same thing with group pages. Like, oh, people used to add me to my group pages and I didn't even know. Even though now you have to actually accept to be in the group page, they automatically still have the bitter taste of like, I hate group pages. So I think that's why, now that I'm talking to you, why I've always stuck with events, because they know that once it's over, they're off the hook, they're out of it type thing. And then it's just a little bit more coaching to talk about creating a group page with your consultant to create a VIP page and stuff. Okay, so when I hope that answered your question. So when I was going through and creating this Google Doc for Kara of all her customers, there were some people on her party that on almost every party that were random orders that came in. This is something I realized, because she's, like I said, she's been hosting since 2012, you guys. So she's like a lot of parties, right? Well, when I was newer, I didn't know to do this or think to do this, is to how important it is to have details on your order forms. Yes, Kara was the host because you're putting this order on her party, but is this person actually attached to Kara? Because there was a couple people I had to say that, unfortunately, when I was still only a year in and didn't have a really good follow-up system, and I just didn't keep a lot of track, there were people that fell through the cracks that I may have gotten an order from like an event, or I don't know, I just met somebody randomly and they placed an order, but I put no details on that on that order form. And again, because I didn't have a real solid system, I may have not fallen up with them ever. And I have no idea who these people are, which is so sad. Cause I'm like, man, there's a lot of people that I've really lost business with. So I had to send her a list of people of like, on the spreadsheet, I put, do you know these people? Because they're not people I know from all her parties. They were just like one-time buyers on her party. And she's like 4 of them, she's like, no, I don't know them. So I was like, okay, I'm sorry, that's my bad. So I took them off. But so make sure when you are adding random orders to parties, very detailed notes for yourself. Okay. One, we have Amy now, which is awesome. So you can, if you placed an order, it's going to tell you to follow up with this person. Hopefully you have like a binder system of some sort, so order forms aren't going to just, fall through the cracks. But so that Susan K is actually Kara's friend that actually intentionally ordered from Kara, make sure you put that. If it's an outside order, maybe put OR or something, outside order or something, or whatever you want to do that's going to make you remember that this person doesn't belong to Kara's party. Okay. And again, this is something 9 years later or 8 years, because she started hosting in 2012, that I even realized was an issue. So I just wanted to make sure I talked about that tonight. But learn from my mistake. Every single party that you have with a host, make sure that you create like a spreadsheet with a visual of how many people actually ordered for them. Because yes, the dollar amount and how much hostess rewards is going to inspire them to go, oh, yay, people ordered, whatever. But again, if I am your hostess, I'm not going to, just the way my brain works, I'm not going to realize how many people supported my party, even though I handed you a stack of order forms, until I see it on a list. So these were like fireworks going off yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this is the way my brain works. How did I not realize that I need to do this for my hostesses? And I've been doing this for 9 years. Like, really? So give them every tool to be able to, or give yourself every tool in order to show people, these hostesses, why they would be a not only successful consultant because they have guests, but why people will actually buy from them, because they're buying from them because they have the relationship first. Now, what I always say verbiage wise is, I am happy to build a relationship with your friends that just placed an order for me, and I absolutely will. But here's the thing. They already know you. They already have a relationship with you, and they already trust you. It's going to take a little bit for them to earn trust. The reason why they trusted me enough to place an order is because they know you. But if they need more Scentsy products, between and this is something I've had a spiel with Kara, unfortunately, which is kind of sad, you guys. There's a lot of people that go without Scentsy because she won't place an order, or they're buying from some other consultant, which sucks for me, right, guys? Because they don't want to like hurt Kara's feelings and order somewhere from someone else, and order from another consultant. I mean, order from me and take away from Kara's party. Because if I tell her, oh, this person ordered, and it's funny because her mom does it every now and then. She'll pop on my website and order something, and then she'll say, did my mom order from? I'm like, yeah. She goes, I told her to wait for my party, and I tease her. I say, well, Kara, people need their products. They don't get tons and tons of products like you do, because when you host, and she never gives me information for everybody, so I don't get to call them and talk about hosting. So that's why, and again, I've been doing this for so long with her that it's a little weird to all of a sudden say, I need all your people's contact. I mean, I'll do it. Believe me, if she tells me no, she's not joining this time, I'm going to tell her. I'm going to say, you know what? It's enough is enough. These people go without Scentsy because you don't host enough, or you don't want to join Scentsy. So I realize now that was a little setback and confidence issue with me. So I kind of just because I wanted that hostess, that for sure hostess every season, which she's the only consistent hostess I have, honestly, guys, that literally always hosts every season. And I realize now, just talking to you guys, that it was just a little insecurity that I didn't know I had. So I need to have that hard part of the conversation that I never had. I've mentioned it to her, but not to the point of like, this isn't fair to your customers. Because it's very likely they're either without Scentsy for 6 months, or they're shopping somewhere else, which, hey, if you're my friend, you want them to shop from me, right, Kara, or from yourself. So these are like scenarios, guys, that there's just so many scenarios in this business. And I just learned this one detail or two details after her being my hostess for 8 years. So you always can be learning. You always can be growing. There's never going to be a point of like, you just got it down. You're going to get to a point of you got your system down to a point that like you can forget something at a home party or whatever, or not have something and you can just still work with it. But it doesn't mean you're not going to always learn something new, because you're going to have a new guest at the party that's going to teach you something that you never knew was an issue or was something that people think about. So Okay, so anyways, long story short, when you're reaching out to your hostesses, always start out with, and this is what I said to Kara. She already had a party booked. She does an on the go party. She brings a basket party or bag party, whatever, to her school. That's her spiel. She has a small house. She never wants to host at her house. And she can't do that now, right? So I said, hey, Kara, I have you on the books for April. I just wanted to let you know, obviously we can't do the on the go party, but we can still do your online party. And she said, okay. So I didn't go, do you still want to do it? Because guess what, guys, psychologically, if you ask somebody a yes or no question, if we're literally programmed to say no to something that of the unknown. If anything, if we lead with a question that they can say no to, our brains are programmed to say no. So and you're literally letting them know that they can say no. So if I would have said, hey, do you still want to do the party? She'd probably say, oh no, I'm not at my school anymore, whatever. So I just said, okay, but let's still do the online party. Okay. You still can do the online party, which we could set up. I asked her if she wanted to do a Zoom party. I asked her if she wanted to do a live Facebook. She's like, I don't want anything to do with that kind of thing right now. I'm so computer overloaded. So I'm not going to push her. So what I did is I took it upon myself to do the video and add YouTube videos and stuff like that. So they know me and that I can do as much coaching. So she's keeping it open until the 16th because she wanted Cinderella to be able to come out and then like stragglers. So generally it's about a week as I keep hers open, or just all parties, to be honest with you, unless the hostess wants it longer or shorter. But it's so important to let them know that the longer they keep it open, the more likely people are going to get kind of burnt out with the whole, and they forget and the excitement's gone. So you want to keep it as short as possible, but let your hostess choose that time frame. Okay. That's why we did 16th, because it gives them time for a Cinderella to come out. And then if they, have forgotten to order or whatever, they still have a couple days to kind of, place their order and then time to close it out. Okay. Now, the biggest thing about online parties right now is that we have to lead with confidence, that people still want to buy, people still want to host, and people still want to get on to a Zoom or Facebook Live or whatever. You have to ask them, give them a variety of choices, okay? A variety of choices. So they, just like when we're talking about products or buying, hosting, and joining, or joining, hosting, and buying, I'd like to talk about, the more options you give, the more likely they're going to do, I'm just going to do a text party or a link party. But if you just say, do you want to do an online Zoom party? It's so fun, everybody's doing it. If that's not up their alley, you just kind of shot down your opportunity. You're setting them up to be like, I don't want to do that. So when you give them a variety, they can go, oh, no, just like, no, I don't want the wine of the day. No, I don't want a cup of coffee. No, I don't want some tea, but I do want a glass of water. Do you know what I mean? We just have to think about our businesses that way. That's all we are, is just information, resource. And you just have to have the confidence behind it, guys. You know where your heart is. You know that you're just trying to make sure that they don't, run out of their Scentsy and that their house smells good while they're quarantined. If you're being salesy, you know it. You'll know it. And you know where your heart is. If you question that, it's because you're probably knowing that you're being kind of icky and you're not leading with your heart. You're leading with like selfish reasons. So ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I doing this for my own benefit, or do I truly care about my hostesses and customers to keep their Scentsy products going during this time? You're going to benefit anyways if they do it, right? But we have to make sure we lead with service and, how can this benefit your customer or hostess opposed to how's it going to benefit me? Okay. I don't see any questions. Oh, wait. We are all learning here. Yes, we sure are, Aubrey. Always, 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 always. Okay. Cindy or Melissa, since you're on live, do you have any suggestions, anything that you've learned that you do that you can add to that? Or do you have any questions that I can clarify?
I have questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what my question is. So I'm a visual learner. Usually I have to see something like a million times before I actually like jump in to do it. And so like I have a list of different types of parties to do. Like I want to do an online flower party. I want to do the bingo party. I want to do a Zoom party. I want to do a Facebook party. I want to do a text party. My biggest hindrance is because I've done a lot of trainings and it's like, I need somebody to hold my hand. With the hostess coaching, what is the timeline? Like how, like I can't visualize that part of, okay, so because then I thought, all right, with like an online flower party, like I probably need to get people to buy flowers beforehand, and then we can all like do a Zoom later or whatever, and then at the same time, and then like we decorate the flowers. But then with the bingo party, like I don't know how to, or even with like what you're doing now, what is your time frame? Because I've asked people with Facebook parties, like, okay, so they start hostess coaching like a week before it starts. Like, do you have a general like when? Like, I can't figure out the timeline. I just can't figure out the timeline of when to do certain things. And then I feel like because I'm not confident with that I start to sound salesy.
So, okay, it depends on honestly the hostess, the availability that you have and them together. It really does. It's a very circumstantial thing. As far as success wise, I would definitely, now again, Kara's been hosting me for so long, there's not much I have to really coach her with, except for the fact that she's just doing the online and I'm not going on live with her this time. But again, and most of her customers have ordered enough that they don't really need, I'm not doing a lot in this one. But for people that have never been hosts before, you do want to try to at least host a week, coach a week beforehand, because it gives you enough time to let them have enough time to process everything, figure out when they're going to do that with each person, because we have to think about most hostesses are doing a lot of other things aside from worrying about their Scentsy party. So the more time ahead of time we give them, the more likely they're going to sit down and do those things. Like they may put the event up on one day, but then they haven't invited anybody yet and you're waiting around for them to do that. So it's kind of like you want to be as flexible as possible. So by the time you're ready to go on and go live, if that's what you're doing, if you're doing it the way of like everybody comes on at 7 o'clock with their, PJs and all that kind of stuff, you want to give the hostess plenty of time to, which I would say at least a couple days, honestly, minimum a couple days. I've been talking to Kara about this party for probably a week and a half, even though it was already booked from when, let's see, the end of January, it's been booked, or middle of January. So I'm trying to help out here a little bit more, which I'm not. Because I'm trying to stick.
I think I probably just have to do it. I think
you know what? Here's the thing. Everything I've ever done in this business, the only way I've actually done it is just diving in. Because the more we start to think about it, we start to hesitate and our nerves get up and we second guess and we start to say, oh, it's not as perfect as this person that I saw on YouTube or whatever. Here's the thing. They may be great and awesome and, but they've been doing it like forever. Or they may seem like they're a pro, but you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You don't know how much, do you know what I mean? So that's the one thing I want everybody to remember as a consultant. What you see may not be the truth, like the true everything. Like that's the one thing about online is that we see these people on YouTube and they get they get all perfect and they look like they're ready to go, sell a building or something because they're all snazzy. Or there's people that are really laid back, but they know their stuff like this. Here's the thing I'm going to tell you is they know their stuff like this because they've either worked their butts off to learn and watch videos after videos, and they've absorbed all the information, and then they took time to really map out what specific strategies will work for them that they're willing to do. And then they've had years probably of, or at least a while of doing it so much that they've been able to, you know, cut out the corners and polish it up to be to where they are right now. So for instance, I can say that as for myself, as an example, I learned home parties so fast because at my launch party, I booked 9 parties, you guys. I did 9 parties in my first like couple months. And so then I was booking parties off of those. So I was literally doing 2 parties a day. So I would leave a party, go home, grab my other bag of stuff that was already ready with catalogs and everything, pick it up and go to the next party. So I was utilizing my skills. I was flexing the muscle and growing my muscle so much because I was just doing them over and over and over and over and over and over. And every party I learned something new. And I received that, you know, don't do that again, or, oh, that works really well, or, oh, that game really helps me book parties. And so I would just make sure that I'm implementing everything that I learn in the next one. And it's always trial and error. And there were some parties that I felt like I knew what I was doing, but then there'd be a crowd that was just so unlike what I'm used to that I felt like a rookie again, like I didn't know how to handle it. So that's the way this business is always going to work. You can have a streak of like, this is just smooth, this is good, I know how to do this, whatever. But then a wrench is always going to be thrown. And the people, the difference between the people that stick it out and actually, you know, continue their businesses are the ones that are okay and accept that there's always going to be a wrench coming. And you just have to know that, like, there's going to be a time that you feel like, I am so inadequate right now, I don't know how to respond to this. Perfect example. I was still back in New Mexico that first 10 months when I joined joined Scentsy before I moved back to Vegas, and I was just doing party after party after party. And so like I said, I made director in 4 months. That just shows you guys that I was doing that many parties and I was recruiting that many people. So, but in that 4 months, probably towards the end, I just made director. So my confidence was pretty high that I knew what I was doing, right? I mean, things were going well. I was asked to do my first like multiple direct sales party with like Mary Kay and all these like, and I'd never done that before. So I thought it was a good idea. I was like, oh, these people are inviting their guests and they might buy from me. I'm like, okay, that's a good idea. But when I got there, guys, it was so not what I envisioned it to be. There was this like sex toys girl direct sales thing. And it was a bridal shower that, you know, the hostess just didn't explain to me what exactly was going to be happening. And I just figured I was going to do a party, you know? And so everybody was in the middle of the room, you know, messing around with sex toys and stuff, totally not paying attention to me. And I literally felt like crying, you guys. I mean, I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to break them from this, you know, am I going to get a turn? Are they going to like shift over to me and start letting me do my spiel? Like, I didn't know what to do. And I literally left there crying, you guys. Like I felt like crying while I was there. When I left, I cried. I was like, this was the worst waste of my time ever. And I was away from my 2 babies. I had hired a babysitter, which I, you know, wasn't making, I was just starting to make money. So anyways, I could have quit right there. That's how bad I felt. I was like, this isn't for me. I felt like, I felt like icky. Like, how could you not tell me that nobody, you know, like that you literally have this other, like Mary Kay is one thing, you know what I mean? But like this, nothing against that. You guys may, I don't know. I'm just saying that there was it, but then what did I learn? I didn't ask enough questions. That's my fault. If I would have said, okay, you told me an example that Mary Kay and other direct sales companies were coming. I need to know what other direct sales are coming, what sales companies are coming, because then I could be more prepared, or I could decide whether I'm going to do it or not. From that point on, I was able to decide that, you know what, I don't want to do those type of things. Now, I've never been like, I've only done one other time, and it was enough to say, that's just not for me. I guess it's almost the same thing, not quite as bad. But you know, when other people are being, their time is being, and their money is being shifted from 2 other places, you know, you're basically battling between your products. Now, my products usually win, especially like in an event or something, but for some reason, you know, a small event like that, like a home party, I'm not one for it. There's consultants that do them and they do them well. But anyways, long story short, there's going to be things that you find out that just aren't you, no matter how much you try. And, you know, I mean, it might be a mindset. Maybe I could decide to maybe one do them again, but I've been in the business so long that I don't have to try to, you know, get a booking with 5 other direct sales companies. You know what I mean? That's my choice. But on the flip side is that if for some reason I was hurting for business, that's an option that I haven't done in so long that it could be an option, if that makes sense. You know, that I really have to say, okay, I could tell myself my business isn't working, or I can accept that I'm not doing everything. But back to what you said, Melissa, this business is all about diving in, honestly, because you are an individual, you are authentically you, and you don't know what's going to work for you. And it may work for me the way I do it. And that's why it's so important to do what I know you do, is you watch several videos from, I mean, you're always training. I see you on the same trainings I'm on sometimes. And so being able to say, well, that I can try this time, this, you know, the way this person's doing it makes sense to me. So then if you feel like it makes sense, then try it. But the only way you're going to know if it works for you is if you try it. Because if we all wait around to be like, oh, this, you know, I have to wait till this is perfect, then we may never do it. I'm sitting. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, do you have like a lit, not like a list? Because so I think what my icky part is just that it's like the term hostess coaching. It's like for a long time, the word party freaked me out, and I couldn't do it because I couldn't have a party. And then when I figured out my own, like, oh, this is like, it's $200, that's a party, or $500, however you're gonna. So hostess coaching kind of freaks me out because I think Scentsy has that worksheet where you can go through and do the hostess coaching, and it just seems so formal and weird to me. Do you have a list of, so when you're hostess coaching, are you hostess coaching the entire time of the party, or just kind of at the very beginning? Like, do you have a list of things that you hostess coach on with like your hostesses for our first time? Like, I know you mentioned share the link and the Facebook party or whatever, and then what she's working towards, because that's really important. They need to know you're working for 500. So is there any others that you're like, do you coach on like participation? Are you, because I see a lot of different trainings where they're like, okay, the hostess has to participate a lot. And then you had also mentioned, do you have the hostesses create the event themselves?
Okay, so I'll start with that question, then I'll backtrack. So yes, the reason why is because they have access to their friends. You don't. So you can't invite them if you don't know who they are. So and then also it's more likely for them to accept the invitation if it's from the person, the hostess. So what I have them do is they add me as a host, a co-host, and then they have to invite you as well. So then you have access to the party as well as to edit everything. So I just tell her, go ahead and create it. And then I go in and I put the banner and all that, put her link up and all that fun stuff. And then once I'm done with all that, I tell her, go ahead and start inviting the people. That's a good question. So because we don't want people to be invited and I haven't done anything to it. You want them to be invited to, like, you know, with it, you know, if you're going to send an invitation to a birthday party, you're not going to, you know, say, hey, come to my birthday party, and then there's no information, right? Or no cute picture or whatever. So it's the same idea, is you want your end kind of already done. So have them create it, tell them, give you however long, if you could do it right now, great. If you're not going to be able to mess with it, say, you know, tell them, give you till tomorrow afternoon or whatever. Let them know, okay, I'll text you when it's ready to go or something. You just communicate depending on your time frame. And then once everything's up and kind of a good like invitation style of like things to look at, then they can start inviting. And then as far as like hostess throughout, yeah, I mean, coaching throughout, absolutely. Because when you are, especially if you're on like a Facebook event and you're watching things happening, you might see a communication between your hostess and a customer, a friend of theirs, that they're talking about. So what I would do is I would message Kara, since she's my hostess right now, I'd say, hey, your friend, you know, since you and your friend were talking about this product, here's the direct link to that product. Go ahead and text her that. I would on my end, I would post that like in the comments. This lady said, yay, I'm excited. I need light bulbs. I'm like, really, that's it? But so I gave her the direct link to the light bulbs, so she shouldn't have to try to find where the light bulbs are, you know? But then I told her to send that to her, but then it's also going to start a conversation between the friends off Facebook. So they might, you know what I mean? It's going to keep Kara on their mind a little bit more, and more likely that extra step, like for some reason, text messaging is a little bit closer because it's their phone. It's like you're in front of them. I don't know. It's just a weird thing that once you're texting somebody, it's a more personal conversation than a Facebook conversation. Then I'm trying to think of all the things you were saying. So a list of coaching. Now, I'm going to go back to the authenticity thing. Everything you get from Scentsy or even from other consultants with like step by step, it's just to give you ideas of things that could be helpful and that has been proven to work before. It doesn't mean it's a step that has to be made. It doesn't mean it's a step that if you don't do this, it's not, you know, it's not going to work. It might just give you a way of like, okay, this checklist is saying these are things that statistically have shown to make the party better. I don't like the way this is done. So how can I still make sure that happens, but I don't do it that way? Because again, your personality is different than mine, or Christina Steinbrook, or, you know, all these people that are like online, you know, in the public eye that does all this stuff. If you're starting from scratch, I would start with the checklist. I would use what has been proven to work, and then go from there. If it's a total, you know, crash after that, and you're like, this made me feel so uncomfortable. Like I said, I went and did the party, never doing it before. I had no idea what was going to happen. It turned out to be horrible. But if I didn't do it, I would have never had the experience to say, okay, this is something that's so not for me, right? And then I was, like I said, I was able to, the reason why I'm sharing this part again is because there's probably people that are new on here that are watching the video, that when you fall flat on your face, the only difference between you becoming a successful consultant and not is because you either continue on and learn from it, or you stop. And so, and so many people, unfortunately, statistically, most people get an experience like I had and they quit because of that one experience. If I would have quit 10 months into my business, I would have never been where I am today. Right. Okay. Anyway,
can I ask a question based off of that? Like, yeah, I think that's my biggest setback with doing this. I'm so, because I can visualize somebody succeeding, but with somebody failing, I think that's where I fall short. Like, it's like, want. Then what do you say? So how do you like hostess coach a failed party?
Oh, that's a very good question. So one thing on our end as a consultant, we have to think about what could I have done better? What information could I have shared? How could I have supported that hostess a little bit better? Now, getting back to, you know, this, like you said, the list seems a little too like weird for you. So say you didn't use that. I'm just going to use an example. Say you had an unsuccessful party. They didn't qualify or whatever. It always goes back to the consultant. This is something that people don't like to hear, but it's the truth. The success has to do with the consultant, because the consultant's the one that has to give the information for the hostess to know that the more participation they have, the better the party's going to be, because of the reason why I shared before. They have the relationship, they know them. All we are is some random person that's trying to make a sale to them. So if they don't participate and they don't send personal text messages out and, hey, check your invite, I sent you something, the failure is on us, not on them, because they don't know this isn't their business, right? They're expecting us to remember, for newer consultants, our name is Independent Scentsy Consultant. We're there to consult about products, consult about hosting, and consult about what it's like to be a consultant and to be a business owner. So if we're just like, hey, here's a link, and then that's it, they'll be like, well, what do I do with this? I don't know. Okay. Click. Oh, yeah, I do need some Scentsy. You may get an order at that from them, but they aren't the ones. They don't know to share it. There's all these little steps that we think that they would automatically know. they don't. So we have to say, text this to all of your friends. Let them know that you that this is your online party. Let them know you sent them an invitation. I need you to be liking my posts. I need you to be commenting on my posts. I need you to be sharing your input on a product. If you love it, if you've tried it, if you hate it, if you they want to know what you like about Scentsy, not me. Because whatever I say is, I'm selling my product in my business. Cindy, did you have something to say?
So just from being a supervisor, at my job, my Wyndham job, I ask for a lot of feedback, because I don't know if I'm doing something right or if they're getting the concept I'm trying to bring across if I don't ask them.
Yes.
And being that you can't always see their face, like right now, it's a learning curve for all of us because we're all at home and my agents are at home, but I can't see their faces and their reaction. So constantly just asking for their input, ask for their feedback. That's just something I learned from work. So what I'm trying to do, like right now, is, for example, my sister in California, I presented a Zoom party to her as this. Listen, I haven't done one yet. What I want to do is I want to see if you'll do me a favor. You get 6, 7, 8 of your friends. I'm not trying to, if they want to purchase, great, fine, but that's not the soul of what I'm looking for. What I'm really looking for is feedback on how it's presented, what I say, my facial expressions, which is sometimes my big thing. Just get that feedback from them. And I told her, I says, if they want to order, great, fine. But my main purpose of this is I want to get feedback from them so I can, make adjustments. She goes, oh, okay, I'll get back with you, this weekend and set a date. Oh, okay. So that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. But
Yay!
You can take that example and the feedback that they give you and then apply it and adjust it to your next party or whatever.
Absolutely. You know what? It goes back to when we first start. The reason why we want to do our launch party with people we know, our family and friends, our circle of people, is because that is the main reason, is for feedback. Thank you, Cindy, for bringing that up, because it's so true. It's because we're able to say, hey, did I sound weird saying that? Or do I sound like salesy when I say that? And they're going to be like, oh yeah, you sound like, you sound like whatever, they'll tell you the truth. So you don't really start with something. There's going to be times that you start something new with people you don't know. And it's just because your business is running. Like mine, I'm at the point that there's nothing that I could really do without trying it, just and see what happens, because everybody has, what am I trying to say? No, let me take that back, because the reason why I can't say it is because it's not true. Because I do, when something new comes out, I do have a core amount of people that are my customers and hostesses that I will ask to be my guinea pigs on the situation. So Melissa, this might be what is helpful for you, is if you could, like Cindy's doing, choose 5 people that are closest to you, even maybe a Scentsy consultant that you're like, that you ask me to come on or whatever, and people that you trust, you feel comfortable with, that you want their feedback, and they're going to give you honest feedback. And then you could do the first round like that, so that what worked, what type of thoughts did what you were saying kind of perk in their brains, and then you can go, oh wow, okay. And then when you're actually doing it with a real hostess and real possible strangers, you've already done it, and you know the possible common questions and hangups that are going to happen at the party or online, whatever, gathering, whatever you want to call it. That was such a great thing to bring up, Cindy, because anytime we do anything new, I even go as far as, I'm sure you guys have heard me say this, is I'll say, don't bring your checkbook or your, whatever. So like Cindy said, she's like, I'm not expecting for, the outcome isn't for me to sell anything to them. It's if they do great, but my real intentions is I need real feedback. People love to help people, let me tell you. And they like to be critics. So you have to be willing to take constructive criticism. It may not necessarily be anything that is, you may have to take it as a grain of salt coming from whoever you choose. So be careful with the people you choose. You don't want somebody that always cuts you down. You know what I mean? And everything you do, you're not good enough to be that guinea pig. You want people that are your fans, meaning they care about you and they want your success. But then they're also going to be honest,
So what do you do with not saying that the hostess failed, but so you had a party, it didn't qualify. What do you do with the hostess?
Oh, with the hostess. I didn't answer that question.
Yeah.
Sorry. I always give them,
because then I'm like, oh, sorry, bye.
Yeah. So, okay. The way I run my business is because I always have outside orders happening. My hostesses never not qualify. Basically, if they agree to be my hostess and they're trying in any way by just agreeing to be my hostess, they're going to qualify. Okay. So it depends on if they're a new hostess though. I'm not going to give them all the hostess rewards if they literally did nothing. They, except for, sure, I'll be I'll do a party. And then I ask them to put up an event and they didn't do that. Or, I go to the party and nobody shows up and I ask them, so how did you, but the thing is, again, it goes back to the consultant, because if you are working up to the party date, whether it's the online or the walking in their door date party, you need to be communicating ahead of time. Okay, so have you sent out your invitations yet? Or, via Facebook or text these people. So what you want to do is say, if you do this, this, and this by this date, I'm going to up your rewards. I'm going to give you an extra something, whatever you can say, a car bar or whatever. So the more you do on your part to help you have a good hostess party, the more you're going to get from me. And again, for new consultants out there, you're like, oh, I don't have anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bribe. Like you could, if you're a brand new consultant, you're still in the phase of you're using your warm market of people, so you can say, hey, help me out. When I get some free stuff, I'll throw you a bone or whatever. But I'm like Melissa, she's a seasoned consultant. So with her, she's able to say, if you send off invite all your friends on Facebook by this date, you're going to get a scent circle. If you send those people a text message by, that same day, you're going to get the option to get a car bar instead of a scent circle, because it lasts a little bit longer. So they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I really like the car bars better. So, okay, now I have to send a text message off. So you're literally directing them, but you're also incentivizing them, saying like, here's the carrot, help me help you. Okay. And again, what is in it for me? You get a car bar once you invite your friends. And you text them and let them know that the invite came through. If you just do the Facebook event, you're going to get a scent circle. So, but again, you also know your person, your hostess, what's going to make them excited. Kara is crazy for bars. So if I say something, I need you to do this, you're going to get another bar from me and she'll be so happy. Okay. Now back to, sorry, that's the one thing about this being on Facebook is my Facebook's open and then people distract me. Let me close this out right here. Anyways, oh, whoa, what just happened? I just lost, oh, here we are. Okay. Now, new consultants. If the party doesn't qualify, I will, thank them for trying. This isn't working really fast. Sorry. I'll thank them for trying. And then I'll say two things. I'll say, do you keep it open a little bit longer? And we can see if, and you can contact those people again saying, hey, I'm closing this order. The party's not quite qualified yet, but I need X amount of dollars to qualify. Sometimes just encouraging them to do that. Once they do that and they send the text off to their friends, here's the thing. It's usually not the fact that people don't want to buy. It's because they forgot. That's really what it is. So all you're doing is saying, hey, let's remind them that they still have time to order. And once they get that third or fourth reminder from after it's been 3 or 4 reminders after the beginning to the end, they might say like, oh, okay, she says she needs a couple dollars more to qualify. Let's throw her a bone. Let's buy a bar. Let's buy whatever. Worst case scenario, every hostess gets at least a half off item from me. Okay. Because they agreed to do the party. Now, that doesn't go without me coaching them even further, saying, okay, the reason why your party wasn't very successful is because remember the things that I asked you to do, but they didn't happen. Those things have to happen in order for you to, for people to actually want to buy and actually want to, and take the action to buy. And so you're educating. So next time, I didn't say if you want to host again. So next time when you host, now you know that these are things that are very important. I'm not just trying to make you do stuff that isn't important. It's really helping you. But I do appreciate you trying this time, even though they may not. I don't want to tell them they didn't try because that's rude, right? They tried enough to say, yes, I'll do a party. Okay. So, but there are specific things that need to happen. So I'll just need you to help me out a little bit more and actually do those things. But here's a half off item in order to, thank you for doing the party. And most people take it. And now they have more products on hand. And I mean, they got a new warmer or something. And now they're even more like, man, I really wish that I did something with this party so I can get some free bars, if that makes sense. So the long story short,
yes, thank you.
Okay, good. It basically, you want to always reward somebody for saying they would host, whether they do a bad job or not. But again, it goes back to us making sure that we're telling them, because I'm going to tell you, any party that wasn't successful, it was my lack of coaching them. That's literally the honesty. I can look back and go, yep, I didn't coach. I did not put the effort in. And so I take the hit on that, right? Aubrey on Facebook said, I heard the idea of a written menu of parties, maybe 3 or 4 options for hostesses to choose from. Yes. So I can actually, I'm sure it's in my files somewhere on our group page. I can re-upload it. So that's really a cute, I mean, now once we get out of quarantine and we can actually do, in-face things, you can write up like a list of, all the different ways they can host. And the more options you give them, the more likely they're going to choose one, just like a menu, which is, thanks for that. Yeah, it's a really awesome tool to get people to do that. Let me see. All right. So what I want to challenge everybody to at least try to get a text messaging party going. Look at your hostesses, who has hosted before. It's a way to contact them and say, hey, how have you been? I hope everything's going well. It's been a while since you've purchased before. You've probably been cooped up in the house like I have, like all of us have. If you're ready for more, here's your link. So anybody that wants to purchase, they can just purchase from that link. Did I say, do you want to do a party? No, I said, here's your link. And they're either going to just start clicking and shop themselves. And here's the thing, give it a day or so and then start texting ideas. Like, because if they're previous hostesses, they probably already have a list of people in their heads of who to contact, but then give it like a day and say, hey, here's a link to a Google link of all of your customers that have bought from you before. And now they're like, oh man, I forgot about that person. I forgot. So here's all their numbers. You can text them. And again, that's coaching. That's helping, to give them ideas of how to do that. So, and please share with us when you get your first order from the texting party, or, feedback from a hostess that actually wants to do it or whatever. And Also, I mean, I always suggest to offer the Facebook event. I mean, unless you're totally against Facebook. I have one frontline that just recently joined. She does not like Facebook. She's only on to see my post on the Angels page for information, but she doesn't like friend people or anything. So that's one exception. But if you're on Facebook, most of you are, I really highly suggest to try to get the event going, because then you'll have an opportunity to actually communicate with the customers, and they can see you and you can answer questions. And then you could do what I do is I post videos and stuff like that. And you can go live, you can, all that fun stuff. All right. Any other, before we close it up, this was a long one. I'm sorry guys, but there was a lot of stories that were shared and things like that. So last minute comments or questions? I don't see anybody else.
I just want to say thank you. That like really put my mind at ease. Like you just help put little pieces, because it's like I can build the puzzle, but when I'm missing too many pieces, it's hard to visualize what I'm doing. So you helped me, you gave me more pieces so that I can better visualize what I need to do. And I appreciate that. So thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. I mean, that's what these are for, is for us to like powwow, you know what I mean? And just start talking, and we don't, until like, I'm the kind of person I think best too when I'm talking. So like, I'll remember like, oh, I never thought about that. Or like how I was talking, then I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that until right now. So that's what this is about. This is a powwow. It's a, let's get our heads together. And yeah, I've been around for a long enough that I either have tried it and failed, or tried it and done well, or I know somebody, or you know what I mean? I can at least point you in the right direction. So I
took a lot of notes, so I appreciate it, Mike.
I'm so happy. So let me know when you decide to jump in and do your first online party, whatever one you choose to do. I'm excited. I think you're going to be great. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you next week. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Bye.